Hello everyone, today I'm going to be doing another deck profile, this time an updated Maelstrom deck from Team Dragon's Vanity. This is for premium. So I only added like few new cards from the Team Dragon Vanity's cards for this deck. So no last card Revon, but whatever. So let's just get started. I still play the 4 Lordly Maelstrom. This is mainly for my second turn ride, not my first turn ride. So its skill is Counterblast 1 when a Maelstrom unit strides on top of it. Put 1 card from the drop zone to your soul and Spirit Call Blue Storm, and it gets the skill of when it attacks, it could restand. So, of course, that's going to be beneficial. Although, and that's the main reason why I'm using this at least as one of my main Vanguards. If I go second, this is actually my main Vanguard, right? And then the second skill, Generation Break 2, if you attack at least 4 times this turn, you can counterblast 1. Your opponent retires, chooses one of their units to retire, and then you draw a card. So it does give you a plus, but I mainly use it for the stride skill. And then for my actual, if I do go first, I of course go for the V version of Maelstrom because of the imaginary gift and the pressure that I could give. So, of course, the skill is Counterblast 1, your whole front row gets plus 3k, and that's only once per turn. And then the second skill is once per turn. If your third or fourth attack hits, you can drop 2 cards and then stand this unit. But this is only for pressure purposes, and you really only want this as your first turn ride and first ride as well, if you need to. And now we go to Glory Maelstrom. I only run 2. You could run 3 and 3 Maelstroms if you want, but you really do not want to first ride this if you don't have any way to get Maelstrom in Soul. So of course you get the Counterblast 1 for once per turn, and your opponent can only guard with one, and your opponent cannot intercept and can only guard with 1 card during that turn if you use the skill. And if you have Maelstrom in your Soul, which is your whole front row gets plus 10k, and that's the main reason why you don't want to first ride this, because you do want that 10k power, and that makes a huge difference. So that's my grade 3 lineup. That's 10 grade 3s. And now for my grade 2 lineup, I run 4 Blue Storm Soldier Eldermost. Originally I was running 3 in my last deck profile, but then I was thinking about it more, and so I decided to run 4 because the main skill of this is once per turn, Counterblast 1, put 1 Maelstrom card from your drop zone to Soul. So if you do end up using strides or anything, you can actually just use that Maelstrom grade 3 that you put in your drop zone and put it to Soul. And then this card gets plus 4k and can attack in the back row for the turn. And the first skill is where when this card is placed, and you can reveal a Maelstrom card, and if you don't reveal one, it gets minus 5k, or if you do not have a Maelstrom Vanguard, or you do not have one that was revealed. So, but usually you will have one, so it doesn't really matter. It's the second skill that is really important, where you want it into your soul, and the minute you're at grade 3, that skill doesn't matter anymore. So, but yeah, the main importance about this card is that you put a Maelstrom card in your soul. So if you do end up riding to Glory Maelstrom, and you happen to like heal a Maelstrom card, you could just ride Glory and then just put the Maelstrom card that is in the drop zone to your soul. And this is not Generation Break restricted too, so you can actually just kill your opponent early. And also because it feels Maelstroms for your strides too, so that's important too. And now next, I originally did not run this either, but I run 3 Blue Storm Marine General Spyros. To simply say, for its skills, simply how its skill works is it does pretty much the same thing as Algos, except that this card also works in a second battle, although restricted with a Counterblast of Blue Storm, and it has to attack the Vanguard. So I decided to replace this with Algos because it has the Blue Storm in its name. So if if I do end up riding Lordly, this could be a target for Lordly. And it could also do the triple attack too, because with the V version of the rules, you don't have to play the skills right away. So yeah, 3 attacks with 1 card, that's pretty good. And then, of course, for my last grade 2 lineup, you of course play the 4 Tidal Assault because it's a free double attack. And now to grade 1s. I play 4 Blue Storm Battle Princess Tita. So if you have a Maelstrom Vanguard, plus 2k when it attacks. And then second skill, if it's a second battle, if you have a Maelstrom Vanguard, plus 3k. So I run 4 because 1, Blue Storm, and 2, it could actually hit anything that is not Force clans. So it's pretty good for hitting numbers. And now to the new card from Team Dragon's Vanity. I play Blue Wave Soldier Sailor Baragios, which is the grade 3 Searcher, and also gets plus 5k if you have 4 or more cards rested when it attacks, but I mainly run this for grade 3 searching purposes if you need it. And then for countercharging, Penguins, and also because this card is actually really good to help you power up cards like your Spyros or Tidal, because they're going to do like multiple attacks in one turn. And if for any reason that you used Lordly to Spear Call this as well, yeah, you get like extra powered up attacks right there. So you of course play 4, and countercharging is very essential too. And then for my last 2 grade 1s, Stride Fodder, because just in case. And then for my starter, I run Blue Storm Soldier Cadet Marios. This is your grade 3 searcher for Maelstroms if your third attack or more hit when it boosts. But there's really no other good card, so I just run this. And now for trigger lineup, the Pit to Soul, draw 1 card plus 10k crit. And then 4 copies of the Blue Storm critical trigger, the new one, because you need as many Blue Storms as possible for Spirals sometimes, and half of this deck is really Blue Storms, so that's why you want to have the Blue Storms, so to increase consistency. And then your 4 drop EGs, and then the 4 heals. And now to the Strides. For the main finisher for Strides, if I do go to it, 2 Engulf Maelstroms. Originally I had this in 4, but I decided to cut down 2 because you're not going to really go to this more than 2 times, the more I think about it. So its skill is, when this card attacks, wave 4, meaning 4 attacks or more, your opponent cannot guard with cards from their hand or from their G-zone equal to the less than the number of Maelstrom cards in your soul. So if you have 2 Maelstrom cards in your soul, your opponent cannot guard with grade 1s or less. And if you have like 3, 2 or less, then etc, etc. So if the minute you have 5, your opponent cannot guard shit from their hand or G-zone. And the second skill is flip 1 card from your G-zone plus 5k and 1 crit. If you have 2 or more Maelstrom cards. You could still flip, but you won't get anything unless if you have at least 2 Maelstroms face up. But you're most likely going to use this as your second stride, because your main first stride is Hexagon Maelstrom. This is your Maelstrom Searcher as well, so this is very helpful, which is why I'm playing 4. So its skill is, when it attacks, you can flip a copy of itself from your G-zone, and then search your deck for 1 Maelstrom. And if you have a Maelstrom in your soul, your whole front row gets plus 5k. So it does help with Maelstrom searching, and which is why I'm playing 4. Originally I had this at 2 because it was mainly a first stride, but then I had run into some consistency issues sometimes where I wasn't able to launch my big waves of attacks, so striding this might be actually a good thing, so you could at least get some value off. And then for the last of my strides, I run Lambros, and then I run the 2 Alexandros for just in case purposes. Lambros mainly because it doesn't cost counterblast. And then I run the 1 Valios for some draw power just in case. And then I run the Progenitor Dragon, so I do get my free strides each turn, and that's another reason why Hexagon Maelstrom can be very helpful if you want to continue your stride plans and all that. Like if you're stuck at Maelstrom for some reason, and then want to like continue striding, you could just go to Hexagon Maelstrom, search a copy of this, and then just save your hand with this. And then for your G guards, I still cannot pronounce this. It's Elionis. I can't even say it. And then I play the 2 Ice Barrier Dragons, and then 1 Galflia as a flipping target purposes. And also it does help countercharging and just in case of blocks. And then, so that's it for the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoy it, and see you guys next week.